So this paved sensory trail is located near the Sawmill Center for the Arts, and you just drive up this long driveway. Okay, this is the Sawmill Center for the Arts. It's a non-profit, and they have classes here, musicals, and plays. So there is a theater where they do live performances. Okay. Now I'm going to check out the Black Bear Trail. All the times I've been to Cook Forest State Park, I've never hiked this trail. So I believe it's a loop. I really enjoyed my tubing trip. But I need to dry off before the long drive home. Oh, be sure to check out my video I did a few years ago whenever I stayed in the cabin. And then I hiked the Cook Trail and the Forest Cathedral trails. I will go ahead and put that video at the end of this one. And that's a sight you don't see every day. A lifeguard chair in the middle of the forest. Okay, let me walk back the way I came. Which I don't mind. Walking through the old growth evergreens. And this trail is blazed in yellow. This is just so beautiful. And this almost looks like a fort. There's the water tower. But on this run, I'm going to do the paved trail. I believe you walk up this service road, and according to the map, there's a parking area at the end. I'm using the map that's in the brochure because I do not get cell signal. So I'm old schooling it, which I'm used to doing. I lived the first 20 years of my life without internet. Okay, I found it, the parking area. So there's a few picnic tables and maybe spots for a dozen or so cars. So I'm going to finish my hike on the paved sensory trail. And this trail is the only paved sensory trail for people with disabilities in Western PA. Built in part with funds raised by Friends of Cook Forest, it is a trail accessible for all. This 0.2 mile long loop guides walkers with a wayfinding cable. Braille and raised letter signs interpret forest lore. Walk clockwise with the line on your feet. Squares on the cable alert walkers to informational signs. Triangles alert walkers to seating. Enjoy your walk. Quote. That's so nice. There's an accessible trail here in Cook Forest. That way everybody can experience the ancient old growth hemlocks. You do want to be careful if it's wet because it looks like it can be quite slick. That's neat, two trees growing together. Oh, it's so nice and refreshing here under the forest canopy. And there are different layers of the forest too. You got the ground, you got somewhere in the middle, and you got the tree crowns. Oh, here's an important tip. Quote, look closely at this red maple. Do you see a partially healed split in its bark, corkscrewing around the trunk? This odd pattern is from a lightning strike. Many trees succumb to lightning, but some survive to reveal this pattern. Quote, so when you hear thunder, head indoors. So if somebody was under this tree during that storm, they would have been fried, sadly. And I've hiked the Cook Trail, Forest Cathedral trails, but after tubing, I just want a nice, easy hike. And there's the moss on the trail. Certain times of the year, this trail is all green. And this will be a nice, relaxing hike before I head home. I had a nice lunch at the Cook Burr Cafe. I'm going to hike this little loop and then head home and relax. And this would be a great trail for small children and those with strollers. This is a gateway to get kids involved with the outdoors. You can teach them to be good stewards of the environment. And plus, this also doubles as an educational classroom. Look how much you can learn. And this black cherry, look how straight that is. And Cook Forest is home to many of these big, tall trees. So this black cherry is 8.3 circumference breast height. Wow. It's the Pennsylvania state champ. Yay! And this trail is very hands-on, especially for small children. They can admire the tall trees, see the ferns. And there are benches along the trail every so often, so you can sit down, have a snack, take a sip of water. Just pick up your trash whenever you're finished. Quote, notice how the forest is brighter here? The woods used to be a field in the 1920s. Do you think it was a pasture or did a farmer grow crops here? Interesting. And this is a humdinger example of succession. So 100 years ago, this was a field. Then slowly over time, trees grew up, and that is succession at work. And you can even teach small children the alphabet here. You could say, what letter does that look like? And they could say, give me a V. V as in Victor. And you can also teach your kids there's life everywhere. Look on this dead log. Look at the weeds growing on the bark, which is slowly decomposing. So this is a perfect example. So nature can be used to teach your kids reading. I don't think writing. You can do math, and you can learn your shapes and colors. I guess the shapes are math, geometry, and science, of course. So nature is a great classroom. And quote, "Fill the bark of Pennsylvania state tree, the eastern hemlock. The oldest hemlocks in Cook Forest have been found to be over 450 years old. That is older than the United States, our nation." Wow. Just amazing. You can also teach your kids a history lesson. Quote, "You are leaving the trail now. We hope you enjoyed your visit. Tell your friends and come back again soon." So I'm going to do this loop. Interesting. Oh my gosh, I could be here all day. So the blocky rectangular bark of this black birch tree smells very sweet, like root beer. And that is where the flavor for root beer came from. Interesting. You learn something new every day. Oh, here's an interesting marker. Quote, "On the opposite side of the trail is a peculiar fungus on a dead beech. It is shaped like a horse's hoof. Does it feel like one? It is called hoof fungus and has been used as a fire starter." Kind of does look like a horse's hoof. And quote, "Notice the dead American beech logs on the opposite side of the trail? They succumb to beech bark disease, a combined insect and fungal attack. They play an important part in the ecosystem as nurse logs, providing nutrients for seedlings and habitat for salamanders," quote. And quote, "Notice the stripy bark of the white oak and feathery moss growing out on it. Although this is a young tree, under 100 years, several in Cook Forest exceed 350 years old." Wow. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed this video of this interpretive trail. I am hoping that more state parks adopt this idea, and hopefully this video gets out and more state parks apply for funding for these kind of trails. I think this is just fantastic. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share away. Thank you for watching.